I'm going to be brutally honest with you. What I'm about to reveal isn't something your father whispered to you at night. It's not what your teachers repeated in school. And it's definitely not what society wants you to know. Most men will live their whole lives and die completely blind to this truth. And that's exactly how the system wants it. Because once you hear this, you can't unhear it. It cuts your life into two parts, before you knew it, and after, over 500 years ago. A man named Niccolò Machiavelli wrote down some of the most dangerous truths about human nature ever recorded. His book was so explosive that the church banned it. And yet, behind closed doors, kings, generals, presidents, and CEOs studied it in secret while publicly condemning it. Why? Because Machiavelli wasn't writing about ideals or theories. He wrote the manual of human behavior. Not how people wish they acted, but how they actually do. And here's the terrifying part. The people who know these truths are using them against you every single day at work, in relationships, in politics, in war. They're playing chess while you're still stuck playing checkers. So ask yourself, why didn't your father teach you this? Why didn't your teachers? The answer is simple. Because nobody taught them. Because society has trained you to believe that facing reality makes you cynical, that learning strategy makes you manipulative, that understanding power makes you evil. But the harsh truth is this: ignorance isn't innocence. Ignorance is weakness. And today, that weakness ends. From this moment forward, I'm going to make you powerful. I'm going to make you dangerous. And once you see these truths, you'll never look at human interaction the same way again. You've been told your whole life that humans are rational, that we weigh choices, that we make decisions with logic and reason. That's a lie. One of the most dangerous lies ever told. Machiavelli knew it centuries ago. He wrote, "Men judge more by the eye than by the hand, for everyone can see, but few can understand." What does that mean? It means people don't care about what's true. They care about what looks true. They choose illusions over reality. Think about it. The friend who asks you for advice about his failing relationship, but ignores you because the truth is too painful. The coworker who complains about being broke, but spends money on Starbucks every morning because it makes him feel good. The woman who says she wants a nice guy, but always runs back to the man who treats her like an auction. Logic crumbles the moment it collides with desire. Reason disappears the second fear, lust, or comfort steps into the picture. And that's the real game. You've been playing it wrong because you've been told to persuade with facts, to win with evidence, to lead with reason. But facts don't move people. Feelings do. The man who masters emotions, who can bypass logic and go straight for the heart, controls every room he enters. He doesn't waste time proving he's right. He makes people feel he's right. And that is far more powerful. Think about it. Hitler didn't rise to power with charts and statistics. He rose with fiery speeches that stirred fear, anger, and hope. Corporations don't sell you soda by showing its chemical formula. They sell you happiness in a bottle. Religions don't spread with philosophy debates. They spread by seizing your emotions. Fear of hell, hope of heaven. This is why you lose arguments. This is why your advice gets ignored. This is why influence slips through your fingers. Because you thought people were logical. They're not. They're addicts chasing feelings. So here's your first dark lesson. Stop trying to change minds with facts. Start shaping emotions. Want someone to follow you? Don't tell them what's good for them. Make them feel good about themselves. Want influence in a relationship? Don't argue with logic. Make them feel the joy of having you, or the fear of losing you. Want to dominate in business? Don't. Just show datacraft. A story that makes people believe you're destined to win. The man who argues with facts is just a teacher. The man who bends emotions is a king. And once you understand this, you'll see the masks everyone wears. The politician's smile, the influencer's brand, the excuses of coworkers, all of it is built to protect feelings, not to reveal truth. Once you see behind the mask, once you realize that every action comes from an emotion, whether it's fear, hunger, weakness, or desire, you'll know exactly where to pull the strings. And that's only the beginning. Because if humans are irrational, then loyalty itself is an illusion. And that leads us straight into Machiavelli's next warning. In this world, there are only two types of people: predators and prey. Fear is not noble, but it keeps the wolves away. Love without strength is an invitation to betrayal, but fear, backed by respect, ensures survival. Here's the sinister truth most men never realize. Weakness doesn't just destroy the weak, it poisons everyone around them. A weak man drains the strong. He becomes dead weight, and others must carry until they either cut him loose or collapse under his burden. And when predators consume the weak, they don't stop there. They keep hunting. That's why weakness is more dangerous than cruelty. Cruel men may be ruthless, but at least they stand on their own. Weak men are black holes dragging everyone around them into destruction. Yet society tells you to be harmless, to soften yourself, to embrace weakness. Under the disguise of sensitivity, they call it kindness. They call it being a better man. But here's the truth. A man who cannot defend himself, his family, or his honor is not good. He is a liability. Strength is not optional. It is the price of survival. And once you accept this, the world shifts. Every interaction becomes a test. Who is predator? Who is prey? Who sets the rules? And who obeys them blindly? This is why women chase men who radiate strength. They know, instinctively, that weakness cannot protect them. This is why leaders rise to power. People prefer following the strong rather than drowning in the chaos of the weak. And this is why you must decide, will you be predator or prey? Your father, your teachers, maybe even your mother, all told you the same lie. Be nice, be agreeable, avoid conflict, and people will like you. They were wrong. Niccolò Machiavelli exposed this centuries ago. He wrote, "Men are simple and so eager to satisfy immediate needs that a deceiver will never lack victims for his deception." Do you see what he meant? People confuse weakness with goodness. They mistake obedience for virtue. They think being nice equals being valuable. But that's a dangerous illusion. This is why women say they want nice guys, but fall for men who break rules. This is why companies praise the team player while promoting the ruthless strategist. This is why society keeps rewarding the sharks, the rebels, the so-called bad men. Because the truth is simple. Nice is not good. Being nice means avoiding conflict out of fear. It means saying what people want to hear just to be liked. It means chasing approval like a beggar hunting for scraps. That's not good. That's weakness in disguise. Goodness is something else entirely. Goodness is telling the hard truth no one else dares to say. Goodness is standing firm, even if it makes you hated. Good men are respected. Nice men are ignored. And being ignored is death in the game of power. Look at history. Did Julius Caesar, Alexander the Great, or Napoleon rise because they were nice? No, they were merciful when it served them, generous when it strengthened their image, but never weak. They gave when it benefited their power, and they withheld when it didn't. Even today, the men who dominate CEOs, presidents, champions, they are not nice guys. They are just, they are fair. They reward loyalty and protect their people, but they don't bend for approval, and they don't fear rejection. That's why they are followed. You can be kind without being weak. You can be good without being nice. But you can never be respected if you are weak. Strength combined with kindness is magnetic. Niceness mixed with weakness is poison. So if you take nothing else from this, remember this. Stop trying to be liked, start demanding to be respected. Because between being feared, being loved, and being ignored, the worst fate for a man is to be ignored. Your father probably told you loyalty is everything. Be loyal to your friends. Be loyal to your company. Be loyal to your woman. But Machiavelli saw the truth. He wrote, "Since love and fear can hardly exist together, it is much safer to be feared than loved." Read that again. It is safer to be feared than loved. Why? Because love is fragile. Love is conditional. Love is loyal only when it benefits. The giver. You've seen this before. The friend who only calls when he needs something. The company that preaches, "We're a family," until the next round of layoffs. The woman who keeps her options open while demanding your commitment. That isn't loyalty. It's exploitation dressed up as loyalty. Here's what most men never understand. Loyalty without reciprocity isn't noble, it's weakness. A man who gives loyalty to those who don't return, it isn't virtuous. A fool. And fools exist to be used. The most powerful men aren't blindly loyal. They are strategically loyal. They know loyalty is a contract, and once that contract is broken, the deal is over. Loyalty is not about being a dog who follows no matter what. It's about being a wolf who walks beside those who prove they're worthy and bares his teeth the moment they're not. Machiavelli saw kings betrayed by men they trusted, leaders destroyed by those who once swore allegiance. And nothing has changed today. So how do you use this knowledge? Simple. Give loyalty generously, but withdraw it ruthlessly. Test people. Watch how they act when there's nothing to gain. Notice who stands by you in storms, not just in sunshine. And never keep feeding those who drain you dry. A tyrant demands loyalty, but never gives it back. A fool keeps giving loyalty to those who don't deserve it. And fools always get broken. So here's your second dark lesson. Never waste loyalty on those who won't return it. Because loyalty without reciprocity isn't love. It isn't honor. It isn't noble. It's weakness. And weakness gets eaten alive. But this raises a chilling question. If love is conditional and loyalty is fragile, then what truly protects a man? What shields him from betrayal, from exploitation, from being discarded the moment he's no longer useful? Machiavelli's answer was clear and terrifying. Not love, not loyalty. Reputation. A man without reputation is already dead. He just hasn't realized it yet. Machiavelli wrote, "Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are." Translation. It doesn't matter who you are, matters who people believe you are. And that's where most men fail. They think being authentic means showing everything, exposing doubts, fears, and weaknesses, crying about being misunderstood. And then they wonder why nobody respects them. Here's the truth. The world doesn't reward the real you. The world rewards the strategic you. Your reputation is armor. It shields you from betrayal. It is the sword that cuts through lies. It's the shadow that enters every room before you do. With a strong reputation, enemies hesitate. With a weak one, even your friends doubt you. Look at history. Alexander the Great didn't just win with armies. He won with myth. He spread stories so powerful that even his enemies believed he was destined to conquer the world. Alexander didn't just fight wars. He crafted a story. Rumors spread that he was invincible, that he was touched by the gods themselves. Before swords ever clashed, his enemies were already beaten in their minds. That is, the secret myth is stronger than muscle. Even in modern times, Steve Jobs didn't simply build computers. He built a reality. People called it his reality distortion field. Investors, workers, even rivals bent to his will, not just because of products, but because his reputation made him seem untouchable. Now compare that to the men you know who complain endlessly, who explain themselves, who beg others to see their heart. They aren't respected, they're pitied. Here's the dark truth. Perception is reality. If you don't shape it, someone else will shape it for you. You want to look competent? Stop whining about problems and start presenting solutions. You want to be seen as valuable? Don't be always available. Scarcity makes worth. You want to appear powerful. Stop explaining your every choice to people who have no power over your life. This isn't faking, it's strategic authenticity. Show only the sides of yourself that move you closer to your goals. Reputation is like fire unwatched. It dies out, spread too wildly. It burns you alive. But controlled, it gives light, warmth, and fear. And here's the cruel twist. Once reputation cracks, it's nearly impossible to repair. One mistake can erase years of careful building. That's why you must guard it tighter than your money, tighter than your relationships. Reputation is your passport into power, and without it, you're already banished. But even reputation isn't enough, because there will always be men who envy it, rivals who want to tear it down, predators who want your throne. And that leads to Machiavelli's next law: there is no avoiding war. Most men believe peace is the norm, and war is rare. Machiavelli knew the opposite. Conflict is always there, whether in silence, whispers, or shadows. The only question is whether you're ready or whether you'll be devoured. Life is a battlefield, your career, your relationships, your friendships. In every area, someone is waiting for your weakness. If you're not ready for war, you've already lost. The men you admire don't stumble into strength. They expect attacks. They prepare during peace so they don't bleed when the war comes. A warrior doesn't sharpen his blade when the enemy arrives. He sharpens it every morning, even when the field looks calm. Look at business Amazon stockpiles resources long before competition appears. Look at politics nations build alliances. Spy and prepare during peace. Look at personal life. The man who stays fit when there's no threat. The man who saves money when income flows. The man who builds allies before he needs them. He is the one who survives storms. Machiavelli gave us the parable. The lion can't escape traps. The fox can't defeat wolves. You must be both the fox, clever enough to see danger before it comes, and the lion, strong enough to crush it when it does. Most men choose only one. The clever but weak fox who gets ripped apart, or the strong but blind lion who falls into a trap. But the man who becomes both that man is untouchable. So here's the dark rule: don't start wars, but prepare to. Finish every single one. And here's the hidden secret: when you radiate readiness for war, you rarely have to fight at all. Predators smell strength. They always choose the weaker target. So train when nobody's looking. Save while others waste. Study when others are distracted. Forge yourself into a weapon before the battle even begins. Then when war comes, and it will, you won't panic. You'll already be prepared. Yet, even with strength, cunning, reputation, and readiness, most men still get destroyed for one simple reason. They confuse being nice with being strong. They cling to honesty like it rules the world. They believe truth always rises, integrity always wins. That's a fairy tale. History was built on deception, not honesty. Machiavelli wrote, "A prince never lacks a reason to break his promise." Read that again. He didn't say only villains lie. He said every leader, every ruler, every powerful man eventually deceives. Why? Because deception is not corruption. Deception is survival. Nature proves this. The fox pretends weakness to trap prey. The snake hides before it strikes. The anglerfish lures victims with light before devouring them. Humans are no different. Politicians sell dreams they never mean to deliver. Corporations poison you while smiling with slogans of family and freedom. Even in your home, people promise forever until it costs them too much. And if you refuse to deceive, you will still be deceived. If you refuse to play the game, you will still be a pawn on someone else's board. Does this mean lie endlessly? Cheat recklessly? No, that's foolishness. It means you must master controlled deception. Masks that hide knives. Half-truths that keep enemies blind. Honesty, but only when it serves you. Lies, but only when they shield you. Promises, but only when keeping them won't destroy you. Because here's the unspoken law. The honest man is not noble, he is prey. And this connects to morality itself. You were told morality is absolute, that good men are rewarded, that evil men are punished. That's the illusion. Morality is not truth, it is control. Who defines what's good? Not you. The powerful do. They call obedience virtue. They call sacrifice honor. They call resistance evil. And the masses swallow it whole because it feels safe. But history spits on morality. Empires burned, enslaved, slaughtered all in the name of morality. Modern governments bomb cities while calling it freedom. Morality isn't about justice, it's about narrative. And those who shape the story shape morality itself. Here's the darker twist. The powerful don't obey the morality they preach. They never have to. They tell you it's wrong to lie, while deceiving you every day. They tell you selfishness is evil while hoarding wealth. They tell you cruelty is wrong while crushing rivals without hesitation. Why? Because a population that believes in fixed morality is easy to rule. They'll police themselves, fight each other, kneel to authority, while the rulers break every rule they created. Machiavelli wrote, "A prince must learn how not to. Be good and use it when necessary. That is the law. Don't discard morality, wield it. Wear it like a mask. Appear moral when it serves you. Break morality when survival demands it. Never become a prisoner of someone else's code. The man who clings blindly to morality is a pawn, but the man who bends morality to his will, that man is king. And beneath it all, power always runs on the same hidden economy. Not money, not love, not honor, but fear and reward. Strip away religion, politics, relationships, you'll find the same engine beneath. Kings rule because people fear them more than they hate them. Corporations control workers through the promise of promotions and the threat of unemployment. Parents shape children with rewards and punishments. This is the true law. He who controls fear and reward controls people. And the masters of power know how to balance them. Too much reward breeds entitlement. Too much fear breeds rebellion. But the one who mixes both the whip and the honey, that man binds others more tightly than chains. Think of the abusive partner whose victim never leaves. Why? Because after cruelty comes kindness, and the cycle itself becomes addictive. Think of the tyrant who rules for decades. Why? Because he punishes enough to inspire fear, but rewards enough to keep hope alive. That is power. Now ask yourself, how do you influence others? Through endless giving, hoping to be loved? Through cold control, forcing obedience? Both are weak. The true Machiavellian uses both, weaving fear and reward until people can't imagine escaping him, which leads us to trust. Everyone talks about trust as if it's stone. But Machiavelli knew trust is not stone, it's glass. Beautiful, reflective, but one crack and it shatters forever. Trust is temporary. It lasts only while both sides benefit. And when it breaks, the weak collapse with it. The strong never beg for trust. They manufacture it through image, repetition, and strategy. They don't need trust to be real, they only need it to be convincing. And the cruelest truth? The man who trusts too much is the easiest to control, because he will hand you the keys to his own destruction. He will forgive betrayal again and again, desperate to believe. He will cling to the illusion of trust because the alternative terrifies him. That's why weak men are devoured. They mistake trust for love, morality, or honor. But in truth, trust is just leverage. And the one who understands that holds the leash around every blind believer's neck. So burn this into your mind. Never depend on trust. Use it, shape it, exploit it, but never build your survival on it. Because trust isn't stone. It's glass. And glass was made to break. Now you see what most men never see, that people are not rational but emotional. That loyalty without return is weakness. That reputation is armor. That war is always here. That niceness is weakness in disguise. That fear lasts longer than love. That deception is survival. That morality is a cage. That betrayal is inevitable. That fear and reward are the true currencies of control. And that trust is nothing but fragile glass. You weren't supposed to know this. You were trained to close your eyes, to obey, to be nice and harmless. But now the blindfold is off. And once you've seen the truth, you cannot unsee it. Every smile becomes a mask. Every promise becomes bait. Every act of virtue becomes strategy. You've stepped into the darkness, and the light will never blind you again. The question is no longer will you learn these truths you already have. The question is, will you use them? Because knowledge is a weapon. In the hands of the weak, it rots into fear. But in the hands of the strong, it becomes power, the kind of power that bends the world. If you are strong enough, carry it forward. If you are weak, bury it and pretend you never heard me. But if you are ready to step deeper into this abyss, this is only the beginning. Machiavelli didn't just leave warnings, he left blueprints. For rulers, for seducers, for generals, for kings. And I will show you every single one. So if you want to go deeper, if you want to learn the strategies that make men untouchable, listen carefully. Like this video, subscribe, because the next lesson will not comfort you. It will make you powerful. And once that happens, you will never be ignored again. You've now seen what most people will never dare to face, the truth behind power, influence, and human nature. These aren't theories. These are the laws that the powerful have used for centuries to rise, rule, and dominate, while the rest remain blind. But remember this? Knowledge is only the first step. Power comes when you apply it. Every conversation, every negotiation, every relationship from this point forward is your battlefield. And now, you're no longer unarmed. If you've made it this far, you're not like the rest. You're already on the path to becoming dangerous, untouchable, and uncheckable. So take a second to subscribe, turn on the notifications, and share this with someone who's ready to wake up. Because in the next video, we'll go even deeper into the strategies that kings and conquerors used to bend the world to their will. This is just the beginning. Stay sharp, stay strategic, and never forget, the world doesn't reward the harmless, it rewards the powerful.